Hey, what's good with the YouTube, man? This is your boy Rojo from the Rojo Room, and I'm joined with a special guest, like you seen in the title, my man, my homeboy, from a convict's perspective and from Real Talk with FLACO. And if you guys ain't checking out Real Talk with FLACO, he's blowing up, man. He's putting out some major heat, and you guys know FLACO, man. He knows his stuff. So I'm sure all my subscribers already know to sign in, check it out, subscribe, hit the notifications, all that. Because each one of our platforms offers a more unique perspective. See, that's where it all comes from, a convict's perspective. But each one of our channels offers a better perspective about us as people. We get on here and talk a lot and whoop-de-whoop on ACP, put in our 2 cents, man. But we get a little more personal on our private channels. You know what I mean? We have different ideas. FLACO comes with his flavor, his view on things, his history. I do the same thing on mine. You guys are obviously here already. And if you're not with my boy, please go check him out. Anyway, man, today, man, this is going to be kind of a different kind of episode, man. It's going to be a little bit open forum. We're going to go back and forth a little bit. I'm going to ask some questions, see what we can find out about FLACO, man. But first of all, how you doing, Flox?
I'm doing good, brother,
man. My man.
I haven't tapped into the Rojo Room one time, and you've had this channel for like 7 months, so like I have to be here.
Appreciate it, man. Taking the time out of your day to come, man, and help me get some subscribers and spread the news and all that good stuff, man. But for those of you guys who don't know, FLACO's my boy outside of YouTube. We've known each other for a while, been to each other's houses, met each other's families, all that. So anytime, in the past where people think we're bickering, we don't bicker. You know what I mean? We both have weird senses of humor, and it might come across like that at times. We're grown men, and above all else, we're like this.
People don't know about me is I'm a real-time J-Cat sometimes.
He comes through with a little bit of J-Cat.
A little bit of J-Cat. Oh, man.
Anyway, man, so, hey, FLACO, what people probably would like to know, and what I'm curious about, I know the story, man, but how did they get at you, or did you get at them when you first started becoming from a norteño, northerner, whatever they call it nowadays? We both know, to us it's norteños, to take a step toward becoming,
See, I was already being kind of laced up and recruited without really knowing at the time in the county jail. There was nothing but B's and C's there, and I was being told that I was start functioning as a norteño, and I just thought it was the way I was functioning. I come to learn that years later when I was trying to become a bro that I was already pretty much had been pulled at that time, right? And then my status just pretty much got reconfirmed by Carlitos Terrazas, who was a lieutenant at the time, Chilo from Sajo, and NF Captain Jimmy Wino Zarowski, who was actually a captain at the time. A lot of people don't realize that.
I didn't know.
So that was affirmed by them. So they were the ones, even though I was already been recruited, but the recruitments had kind of changed at that time. So there was a lot of people's statuses, whether they were valid or not. A lot of people got theirs revoked. And all that happened was they restamped everything. A lot of that happened in lieu of the dismantling of the NR. So that's how everything pretty much got reaffirmed. So, my career as a bro was basically getting pulled in 96, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the reaffirmation came like 2 years later.
And that was
2 or 3 years later.
The 2 years later thing, that was already after and so.
Well, look, I was also getting recruited by one that didn't have the authority, that was under the old NR law, that was a degenerate that got deemed no good, but he had to send power on the yard. And there was a couple other bros in the yard. He had recruited certain individuals that their statuses were questioned later on.
What institution?
Solano at that time.
Gotcha.
Because see, back in those days, dropouts and degenerates could infiltrate these yards because they were validating a lot of the solid bros at the time. Mm-hmm. So you would have these leftover degenerates or people that were secretly working with that administration that you couldn't always prove it, but they were out there in these main lines. And that was and I brought that up when I got to Corcoran Shoot, because I went from Solano striving, was an A1, which was A1 was basically an NR prospect back in the days. Okay. That means that you were a strong sympathizer to the Nuestra Raza. Then you had your regular norteños, whether they assisted or not. If they didn't assist, we used to call them stragglers. Okay. Because back then the politics weren't really strict, as long as you just did what was expected of you. But there was those that strived. So I was told at that time, I was told as a bro there, but I'd already previously been going through the process because I knew the bonds already, which they were surprised that I knew them. And then, but I didn't know. I was set up with a bro at the time. And the changes from NR to fucking norteño had occurred, and I'm being told to function as a norteño. I'm not thinking it's anything different. I found out years later, So when I submitted all my things, I was in a pod with Chilo from Sanjo, Suave from Salinas, 2Cs, and me. And then they had me run the building. It was a new block that they were establishing in Corcoran Shoe. And so I had 2Cs overseeing me, and they had me taking care of everything, and they were running the education. And then when they all got moved, I was by myself. I came about weeks later, and that's when they brought it up to get my status confirmed that it wasn't going to be issued. They said that this was after dismantling. They said, you're now structured. We're pulling you under nuestra raza. You know what I'm saying? So we were still using those terms back then. And the big thing that got me into them affirming my status at that time was that I elected to function on the streets, which was a big deal back then. And they liked what they seen in me, because when I got there, I was kind of still wet behind the ears, man. I was all about, I had a radical sense of revolutionary in me. I was against the system. I get in fucking conflicts with the cops. I told them, hey, when they didn't want me when they elected not to put me on the yard because I had all these batteries and stabbings that had happened within like an 18-month period, I was getting off all the time, bro. I was getting into fights, getting put in the wrong yards with people, and I was handling my business. And so they elected to change the rules that if they had to review your C file, and then they elected, because of my violent nature, that they would put me on the group yard. So I was the first one to ever have that happen to. So I submitted the thing. It says, we don't approve. And I went back in front of them again to try to get the approval. They wouldn't approve it. So I told them, I go, what you guys want me to do? Like, you guys want me to fucking keep my tray? You want me to lock up the tray slot? I go, what you guys want me to do? I go, I ain't tripping. I go, I'll get off with these dudes. And I almost wanted to get off with them another time over a fucking ripped towel that they gave me. You know, the homie was like, you're doing too much, man. I'm like, fuck, I ain't no punk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck these cops. And they kind of mellowed me out a lot, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was fortunate to get all my schooling from like Carlitos, Chilo, and from Wino. You know,
I've heard nothing but great things about Carlitos, not only from you, but for other people. You know, since we ran that, you know, a couple little things and we've mentioned his name, people have reached out to me and they're like, man, that was a cool ass dude, bro. I don't know the other two gentlemen you're speaking of personally, and I don't even know Carlitos personally, but the feedback I've got on his name is he was solid.
Wino was a captain, right, at that time. People don't realize that.
I didn't know that either, and I should have known.
So Ashley told me specifically, okay, I was out there in the streets, right, and I had a code. Carlitos was my channel. Carlitos was the RC based upon the fact that even though Wino outranked him, Wino was set to go home, and his instructions was he was supposed to take over the streets. Wino and Corny were close, okay, as well as Wino for a minute was sold up with Tex. He was Texas lieutenant for a while as well. So they had a whole good relationship. Like Corny's mom and Wino's mom used to always be talking and communicating. That's how they communicated at that time. And so I was supposed to come out and function under the GOP. You know what I'm saying? And so when they gave my number, I had a special code to communicate with Carlitos to give my number and so forth. I gave my number. Next thing you know, I have Ashley's the one that plugged me in. And that's, you know what I mean? He plugged me in with Chico Rose, and that's where all the chaos happened with Operation Black Widow a few months later. And so I was out there to fend for myself, and I got Wino coming to meet me out there. When he touches down, that's how I hooked up with powder, was through Wino, because a lot of seats were still trying to go through Wino.
Right.
But Austin told me on the phone, he goes, when he plugged me with Chico, he goes, he has no authority to give you any green light. He goes, only I do and one other individual, and you know who that is. So I know he's talking about Wino.
Right.
And Wino told me that for me to tell Corny, why don't the kids want to all come with him? Like, what's up? Because they didn't know anything about Ashley and Corcoran at the time. So I get brought up by Wino because he doesn't know how to get in communication with nobody. And the indictment's happened. He goes, well, if you can get a word through this person over here, tell him that the Swollen Eagle has landed, which was code name for fucking for Wino. And they went up there and they asked who Ashley was. As soon as they did that, they were fucking, that's the motherfucker that informed on him. And so then I told Wino, and it was just a whole mess, man. That dude went MIA. He burned me for 2 pounds of dope at the time that I fronted him. He left me and Powder both fucking no communication. But he's coming there the first day talking about he's like an NF fucking general and shit almost. You know what I mean? Talking about fucking he's gonna pull me as a C, and that he met the other brothers. Just told me I'll plug you in. You know what I'm saying? We'll plug you in. No trip. We got you. And he's wearing a fucking hairnet with some Cortezes, bro. You know what I'm saying? He looks like a fucking straight wood, bro. It's like, man, like I go to meet him at the Bolero. I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, shouldn't be out here looking like this, bro. I'm thinking in my head, right? And but he was cool though. But he burned me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it tells me he's gonna recruit me as a C, gets me for £2, and then fucking I get a part of the money back. Then his brother tells me, oh, the X-Files. Because he has some other brothers that were like white boys. They would come in and meet up with me. And I'm like, they gave me part of the money. I'm like, where the fuck's the rest of my money? And they're like, his brother calls me and goes, X-Files. So he's talking about the feds. And he just disappeared from there. And then with Carlitos, I was still communicating with Carlitos. I even reached out to him and told him, like, fuck, hey, old boy fucking left me. You know what I'm saying? He goes, I'll see what I could do. And next you know, that's when I got to quitting, and all the shit with fucking Carlitos and fucking Conejo and Huicho and all that shit was all going on. It was just fucking big old mess and shit, man. And I don't know what to do because I was like, man, I got a little Huicho who's a very, very authoritative person, abusive to people. He took a liking to me though. And he told me fucking Carlitos is almost done and whoa. And fucking I come find out later that there was issues between the two later on. And so when I'm there, you know, I'm talking to him. He knew about me because he had been told to contact with us, and so he knew that I previously worked under Chico Rose and under Asha Lee, and so he had respect for that because I was still functioning, and so he started giving me special perks and privileges when I got to the unit over there. Like he wanted to communicate just with me. He said it was in that business, so he was basically analyzing me as a candidate to be recruited because he had the authority to recruit for Skip or Cuete at that time. And this, even though during Operation Black Widow. And so he scouted me.
Fox,
and
let me pause for 1 second. The garbage truck's about to come down the alley and it'll mess this video up. So let's pause for 1 second, brother. My bad. Hey, my bad. We got the garbage people today. So my bad for interruption. You, Flaco, go ahead, please.
So I was getting a little bit of special perks and special treatment because of that, bro. But he was scouting me as a candidate. They ended up actually I'll get into that later on. So I'm there in the back bar of Carson's section. He's in the front bar. There's no other seats there but him. And the RA in the back bar was Chente Robal, who knew me. I got a Chente. I said, look, I need to communicate with this dude. It's in that business. I'm not gonna go through you for screening process. Right? He said, that's no problem, Flax. Woo. He ends up leaving. An individual named Nano, shouts out to Nano from San Leandro because he's always tapped in the comments and he remembers this, man. I respect Nano for this, right? So I get at Nano, he tries to stop me. He goes, I'm the channel here, bro. He goes, you know, you can't send anything to the front bar unless I screen it. And I said, check this out, bro. I go, this is in a business. Whoa. And then he goes, well, I have to follow my chain of command. You cannot forward anything without going through. So it became a back and forth thing. I respect it. He hadn't even got recruited yet. He was an owner at the time. He got recruited afterwards, but I respected the way he handled it. I mean, he always taps in the comments. Mr. Anderson, that's him. You ever see him in the comments, man? Good dude, man. He
did what he was told to do. Hey, you got to screen this shit.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. We were talking about it, man. He did that to another C. He wouldn't give the C a care package till he fucking went through the B&L. So he was by the book, right?
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that shit.
So, okay, we chose over there with half dead and shit, man. So what they did is they had pull with the COs over there. They got me moved. They said, we're going to eliminate that problem. So they moved me to the front bar that day.
Shout out to Half Dead from Santa Rosa, too.
Yeah, so I go to locker room cages. I haven't been cleared for yard. And then fucking Lencho comes and gets at me, man. And fucking, he starts, whoa. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm running shit here. Like, whoa. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to argue with you. You're right, but, you know what I'm saying? And he goes, okay. I go, well, you know, same word that sticks is here. And so he looked at me and goes, all right. I go, yeah, I was waiting for you to touch down. And so he goes to his visit like about 2 days later, and he tells his lady, which was Peggy at the time, hey, Sticks. She goes, who, Flaco? And he's like shocked. Well, yeah, he's a good dude. He owes a little bit of money, but they know he's good for it. Ain't no one tripping off him, which I didn't even know no fucking money. They're full of shit. But so Lencho had a little bit of different outlook, even though we kind of were on shaky ground a little bit. And so him and Huicho actually fucking he actually stood up with Huicho to actually recruit me there. Like as far as he was gonna affirm it, because Gonzo as well was getting recruited, and Gonzo told me that as well. Huicho wanted to wait till we got to the streets though, so they almost tried to pull me right there because they has a direct line to fucking them over there.
Right.
And so Lencho pulls me aside one day and he goes, man, you know, you're out there in San Jose, that's my area, you know, and we're walking in laps and shit, me, him, and Huicho. And I'm just like, all right, you know, I ain't seen you out here. We're the ones that been out there throughout this whole fucking ordeal. And now you're telling me fucking what I have to do when I get out there? all right. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, I had also a liking and disliking for the dude at the same time. Don't get me wrong. We went out to clubs together with my wife at the time. We went out to the oldie concert, just me and his wife and my lady at the time. So we did have a fucking relationship at one time. You know what I'm saying? But I always seen that some of the scandalous movidas that he would have later on, but he never directed them towards me. You know what I'm saying? Like there was an individual from my town that had a baby with his stepdaughter. When the dude got out, he was a major baller. He passed away. But he took him for a pound of dope and said, you know what? It said, you know what? Like, if you got a problem with this, we'll just kill you. If you accept it, this is what you get for hitting my stepdaughter. All right. So it's supposed to be squashed. He's a northerner, right? He's a homeboy.
Oh, he domestic violence? The stepdaughter? Oh, that's lucky. That's all he got, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But he wanted to use him for, you know what I mean? But they have a kid together. They're still together.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
So they just elected to use him for that. So he's cleared of it though. And he's a homeboy. He wasn't a homeboy on the streets. He became a homeboy when he went to the county jail. Because I actually ended up having to collect a debt for that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because Caja Rodriguez gave me the fucking job. I'm all right, cool. I get half of it. I'll do it. Give this to them and this to them. Okay, cool. But anyways, so years later, there's no beatings, there's no nothing. He's trying to tell me to find out information. They want to hit a safe spot. This is the active end. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't gonna do it, man, because that's my town, that's my circle, that's everything. You know what I mean? Like he was plugged into someone that was my brother's best friend that was like a cousin to us, you know what I mean? I looked after him, he was a big baller too. And I ended up telling him to fucking, he ends up telling fucking the dude that gets back to Lecho. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here trying to do fucking a little favor, right? Just try to safeguard him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, look, this is what's going on, man. Don't relinquish too much information to anybody. You know what I'm saying? And fucking just tells Lencho, I was like, oh, no, I didn't say that, bro. You know what I mean?
Damn, man. Scandalous. Trying to look out and it almost got you in the mix.
Bro, but you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Poon, man. I mean, rest in peace, Poon. I ain't mad at you, brother. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happened, man. I actually tried to look out for him, man, because they were going to fucking hit the pad, bro. And I had respect for him and his brother, because I know his brother was like an older homeboy that escaped from the county jail and shit. That's still doing time. So when that happened, I was trying to look out because I'm there about all these issues and stuff. And we used to manipulate our way into situations. Like we put out certain information just so we get back to people on purpose. So then they strike fear in them. So then they would want to work with us directly. I did that to people out there where I had a certain homeboy, Lancho's stepson, that would meet with a certain person. He would go over there and tell the dude, like, look, they had a meeting about you. They want to tax you, but FLACO stood up for you. Next thing you know, I'm getting a call. This dude's dropping me like 2 pounds of work. You know what I'm saying? Like we're finessing shit because a lot of times we don't want to have to go out there and have to take, it ain't the 90s and 80s, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna use that bandana, the NF, the name to get the resources you need out there.
Yeah, no doubt.
And being out there in the streets, you know what I mean? You hold the same status and rank if you're plugged in on the books, period. Whether you get recruited as official member, whether it's fucking ballot or not, it doesn't matter. You're out there functioning as a Z. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Anybody feels any different, it's not that way. All the policies are still the same, all the rules, the regulations, and so forth. You're all under the NF bandana out there in the streets if you represent it. You fall under the same street concepts, period. You have the same rank and status out there. Some have a little bit more pull, more directions, but that's just how it is out there. And so, like I said, man, like for me, I was involved with a whole lot of different C's out there, bro. Like I worked hand in hand with Powder. I worked hand in hand with Bubba, Boxer, Chico Rose, fucking Huicho, fucking Lencho, Wedo, Charlie Campa. The list goes on of C's that I had dealings with. Wino, Gallegos, Smokey. You know what I'm saying? So, I knew all these individuals and they all took a liking for me because I produced. And I was loyal. I was too loyal, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But I learned a lot of things from watching how these dudes operate. And I'd watch where they were fucking faulty and where they were wrong.
Right.
And so I would try to emulate the strengths I was seeing them and think, okay, maybe I could do it a little bit better, which at times I did, but out there, it's a cutthroat game. Just because you guys are all supposed to be pushing for the same goal, which is to build up the betterment of the organization. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has individualist goals, bro. That ego fuels everything. I don't give a fuck if you're a bro, a C, or whatnot. Everybody has an ego when you're involved in this.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Period. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times because of some things I did out there, like I got a lot of leeway a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of shit that motherfuckers did not like out there that were seized. I got away with it though. You know, because I was a little cocky youngster out there, bro.
Were you fucking up, or was it just like trivial kind of shit?
Nah, what it was is I treated people right, bro. And I had a goal that if you treat people right, bro, that they're gonna be less inclined to tell on you, and they're gonna be more inclined to assist you. And therefore, if you treat them right and they don't treat you back in return, if it's not reciprocated, then they got to get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I operated. Like, see, like if I'm picking up at least 80 ounces a week of dope, minimum, maybe sometimes more than that, bro. That's 5 pounds, bro. Maybe sometimes 240, you know what I'm saying, which is 15 pounds. You know, if I'm making at least $75 per ounce, do the math. There's no reason why I should try to make fucking $300 per ounce when I have about fucking 240 of them.
Right.
If I'm making even $50, I'm still making 14,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's how I used to do it too. That's why I could move so much.
So when I established crews out there, what I would do is I would give you the opportunity. I would tell you, like, look, if you show me what you can do, I will show you more love. I'm not going to just drop you a quarter pound. I'll drop you 2 ounces. If you can't turn around and come back with that, you know what I'm saying, then you're pretty much fucked. Because a lot of times, like I said, I'd buy stuff on consignment and I'd get, you know, pay half out there and get it on consignment. And I'd have my place where I'd have 7 to 14 days to where I'd have to pay them back. And the way I would do the sales pitch, right? Because I'd get my own resources. And sometimes I would step on people's toes. I would tell them, like, look, I got the manpower. We can move this product. You could isolate yourself from being out there on Front Street. You don't have to see me every fucking day, and you're going to get your money. And that's how I would establish different plugs like that. And it would sell because I would never burn anybody. The money would always come in. It would always be a priority. You know what I'm saying? And if I had about 2 or 3 people that were like that, I'd have work coming in all the time, bro. So there was always money that was being generated. I was never, ever short. And if someone got pinched or something, or something went wrong, or even if someone came up missing with like $200, I drop him a quarter pound. I'm not going to stop fucking fronting him work because he owes $200. Because if I do, he's never going to bring that money in. And that's where a lot of these fucking NF members were doing that was wrong. Was as soon as someone owes them 150, $200, they want to cut them off. They're never going to get your fucking money. You know what I mean? Now you got them in your pocket if you really think about it. And whatever things that they acquire, like cars, guns, and so forth, they're going to bring it to you before they do anything because you're giving them the opportunity that they're going to respect you.
Yeah,
and see, a lot of them didn't realize that, man. And that's the reason why, you know, I had certain people from their crews that would fuck with me and so forth, because I wasn't trying to be too greedy. I'm looking at the bigger picture. I want everybody to eat. I can't let you eat and want to work with me if I'm trying to make a fucking big profit off your ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's just keep this work moving. You're doing all the work for me. I'm just making you dropping you 4 zips. That's it. And I had runners at the time. I had runners and safe houses and so forth. So it was a lot easier to kind of maintain. And, you know, I learned a lot. I watched. I observed. I'm like, okay, this is supposed to be like this. Why are they doing it like this? It doesn't mean that I wasn't fucking loose at times. It wasn't that at times I didn't have an ego. And it wasn't that I didn't put myself out there. Even putting myself out there, I was able to isolate myself from shit. You know?
Yeah, you know, I never even hustled Hale, Awa, you know, Chris. I never even hustled that until I met up with the homie Mexican Mike. And when I first started hustling, you know, it was different because I always hustle weed or crack, you know what I'm saying? But everybody would be like, man, you're letting that shit go too cheap. You're letting that shit go too cheap. Da, da, da. I'm like, bro, think of long term. You know what I mean? Can you break down a pound into fucking grams and make a killing? Of course you can. But can you empower other people by, you know, wholesaling? Hey, 4 months later, I'm shitting on everybody. I got 9 cars, a fat ass house. You know, I'm picking up the tab everywhere. I'm throwing barbecues for fucking 80 homeboys. You know what I mean? Like, why are you going to try to tell me what to do? Seems like, hey, and then the same people, hey man, do you think I can, you know, think I could get put on? I thought I didn't know what I was doing. Why would you want to work with me? Oh man. I always tried to golden rule it in everything in life, bro. You know what I mean? Me and you personally as friends, or in the prison shit. Like, what would I hope for dealing with this person?
See, the biggest mistake though is when people let the ego get in the way, bro, and they get too greedy. They don't want other people to win, and that's how you build enemies. That's how you build oppositions that are going to be opposed to you. The minute you start mistreating your gente or your people, and that superior mentality comes into play, that motherfucker's gonna be more inclined to fucking tell on your fucking ass.
You're the first one.
You know what I'm saying? Because of how you treat people.
Yeah.
Now, if you treat people right, and there's always going to be those that are still going to flip, right? But they're going to be less inclined to do so.
Yeah, they're going to get the people they hate first.
Exactly, bro.
Hey, the people that they hate, the people that they're scared of, the people that they owe money to, those are the first people they're going to go after. Hey, the person that's cool, like me and you are real similar like that. We treated everybody, man, you would never know that I was running the whole regiment because I interacted with you just like we were contemporaries. You know what I mean? Like I'm not nobody special because of this. And actually, you know, in reality, you're smarter than me because if you make a mistake, hey, you made a mistake. If I make a mistake, it could cost me my life. So I never played the power trip with the letters or the vendetta, nothing like that. Man, I just tried to get everybody to be like, man, Rojo's cool, bro. You know,
I wiggled in there and see, like, just to be honest, right? Like anybody that knows me out there that was really out there, like not for 2 months out there with me, but that was out there when I was out there for years, man, knows for a fact that when I talk about the things I was doing out there, I'm not lying. I'm not bullshitting. It's all fucking, I ain't embellishing shit. You know what I'm saying? I was really out there getting it, bro. I was, you know what I mean? It didn't mean that there wasn't mistakes made in the beginning stages, you know? When we were first out there, you know, during Operation Black Widow, when I was out there the second time, it's just you learn from your experiences too, though. You know what I'm saying? And in the beginning, I put too much trust into when I met C's that were getting out. And what I seen is that their character changed because either they were fucking high or they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And so I'm intelligent enough to sit there and see what's wrong, that learning eventually I got to safeguard myself in what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And then you entrust those that you see that have that longevity of success, which I had a couple at the time that I thought that I could trust out there now, but I seen how that turned out, you know what I mean? You know, which, you know, and me keeping it real and honest today, I can't say that I would have made any different of a choice than they made, following orders.
Yeah.
They were, you know, lower in rank. They had just, a lot of them had just got recruited just within the last 2 or 3 years. They had only been out there in the streets, and they were only mainly producers, even though one of them was actually with the shit. So when you get some dude that's been one for 20 years who fucking basically bought his way in when he paid fucking picky to be made, you know what I'm saying? He got pulled with brass. He's always had pulled with brass. So no one's going to want to go against that. And I can't say that I would have, even though I think maybe they knew it was wrong. So I had a little bit of a personal feeling, though, like I always felt this: right is right, wrong is wrong, bro. If you can't stand up, if they ain't no one going to stand up for what's right, then I don't want to be part of what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that made a simple decision, man. And, you know, I've already told my story about all that. I was never going to put myself in a position where I was going to put anything but myself and my family after that. Fuck them, fuck these guys. And it is what it is. And they can feel the same way about me. It is what it is, man. You reap what you sow. If there's no loyalty in the game, then I don't deserve to be loyal to you. And people can sit there and say, oh, you should have known, you know what you signed up for. I don't think that's a true statement, because a lot of times we don't know what the fuck we signed up for. We're at a young age being taught this. And when we really get involved in it, we see it's nothing like what we were told. The backdoor politics, the fucking lies, the conniving, the favoritism, the disloyalty, all that shit fucking exists. You know?
No doubt.
And you know, and I know, bro, there were some individuals that just had certain hate just by the way we looked at times, bro. They wouldn't be open about it, but when they see you succeeding, they see you winning, they're always going to feel a certain way. And that can even be consistent of those who've been NF members for a while that only had, you know, short-term success out there. They hear about you doing all this stuff and you're maintaining your freedom out there. They're going to hate on that. They're going to downplay your efforts and what you did out there.
Yeah.
You know,
hey,
and that's
it's going to be that stuff like, they're going to be somewhere and they're going to be like, yeah, the FLACO's doing this or Rojo's doing that. And they're going to be like, I'm not doing that. You know, it's weak, bro.
I established my own shit, bro. You know what I mean? The beginning, I'm learning. And the way I started was I got 2 homeboys I was close with from my hood, bro, that really weren't slinging dope. I said, can you guys assist me? I can get some work.
Yeah.
And fucking, I wasn't making nothing off of just establishing clientele. And that's what I can tell people, like, look, when you get in the dope game, you got to sit there and be prepared just to build up in the beginning to establish your fucking, your clientele, your workers. I call them workers because I didn't have clientele. I had a few people I'd fucking sell stuff to get that extra fetty out, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, it would be all about me building up. If I'm not making any profits for the first 2-3 weeks, a month or two, so be it, because I know that what I'm building is going to fucking bring in money. And see, that's where the greed comes into play. These dudes just want to fucking make fucking 10 grand the fucking first week they get out. You know what I'm saying? Play your position. And see, that's what I used to tell people. Play your position, right? Whatever position you're given, if this is a foot soldier rank, you're establishing a crew, whatnot. But when the opportunity presents itself, you better capitalize on it. And that's when people fuck up because they become stagnated. Oh, they just feel comfortable where they're at. You ain't got no true leadership skills. You got to show that you can capitalize when the opportunity exists. And I would always fucking capitalize. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep my ear to the streets. Things would come my way. You know what I'm saying?
Me too, brother. Me too.
And I have my, hey, bro, I have my things in everything, bro. Like from debt collecting to fucking, we had an escort business that me and the other carnal had that we went out there to a certain area to get her car out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we started that business. You know what I'm saying? Then we got another one. And we had a certain pay thing of how it was. And I started having the youngsters go out there from BMN. I had my runner that used to run my dope for me, started running her. The next thing I go over to the homeboy's pad to pick up some money. She's there with a bunch of her homegirls. They're partying with them. I'm like, you motherfuckers, man. You're supposed to be out there working, man. We gotta let the youngsters have fun too, man. And see, I tried to employ it, involvement from different people from even my neighborhood. Like I wanted to give people opportunity and see what they could do. But if you couldn't maintain it, I wasn't going to put you in a situation to be given work and not come back for the money. Because business is business. And there's a lot of people that, man, that could have got fucked off back then that I fucking didn't fuck them off just because. You know what I mean? From people who told when they were juveniles and testified in court, motherfucker should have been deemed no good back then. You still think you're active out there in the streets, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you were over there fucking pointing this and that, fucking telling the cops. We already know what happened. Even your own hood. That's why they ostracized you, man.
Yeah.
And people that owed money. And because they were, you know what I mean? I'll be like, you know what, man? Fuck it. I get it. You're struggling out there. You owe $200. $200 will get you fucking whacked when it comes to the game, bro. So you got to set the standard. So those are things that I started to learn in the beginning is you had to set the tone with people. And so if you could not, it's like this. If you're my homeboy and I'm second guessing, you're asking me for work. Yeah, I know I don't think you're going to bring the money back. I'm just as much at fault if you don't bring that money back. So why am I going to have you fucking whacked?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would never give something that I could not, you know what I mean? You get the same fucking bullshit story and you're looking at them, they're all fucking sweaty and they're like, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers high like a motherfucker, bro. You know what I mean? All right, homie.
Yeah. Hey, I never.
Wait. Then they would make up for it in other ways, though, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck commodities and shit like that. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I never wanted to be a dictator, bro. Hey, look, this is the expectations. These are the rules, and these are the consequences. All that puffing the chest out and raising the voice and trying to belittle and disrespecting, especially in front of other people, that don't get you nowhere, bro.
Bro, but so you know what? I was like that more with my homeboys from my neighborhood, bro, because I wanted more expectations from them. So at times, especially with the youngsters, I'd be harsh on people. I was very direct that, and it wasn't me like trying to fucking, I was very, how's the right choice? If you start doing something stupid, I'm gonna tell you, get your head out your ass. I wouldn't care if it was in on the tier, like somewhere I was at, or out there in the streets in front of a bunch of people, because I wasn't gonna sugarcoat it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I would try to fucking lace them up at the same time, man, because you can't. You know what I'm saying? Because then people think that they could just walk all over you. So you got to sometimes set the standard with certain people, man.
I would do it on paper. Because I never wanted nobody to see any kind of imperfections as far as other groups went within what we had going on. So if I heard something, unless it was something that I had to stop immediately, and there should be people before me having to say something that should nip that shit in the bud. But man, I would do it on paper, bro. Just because I don't like embarrassing people, bro. Because when you embarrass somebody, bro, that fucks with their pride. And that's the same thing. So I'd be like, hey, bro.
Yeah. I did it a couple times where people were getting too bad on the chair, and I don't want to sit there and write a Kai. I'm the fucking RSD there. You know what I'm saying? You fucking TS should be on the chair doing that, you know? So I would tell them to noise check that shit.
Dude, hey, and Martinez, if people used to yell out the cells or something and I didn't like it, all I'd do is say, hey, check out channel 4.
You know what though? I never really showed favoritism when I was in the joint though, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of set that precedent when I had an issue with fucking the Garnal Chino from Santa Rosa. You know what I'm saying? He tried to come in there, and I had two RAs, right?
Yeah.
G from San Jose, and I had the other individual, Lucifer from Watsonville. Okay. Lucifer became a cardinal later on. I don't know what his status is now. I don't think he's active, but shouts out to Lucifer. He'll remember this too. He's listening. Him and Danger went to fucking ICC. Now we had the tobacco thing, you know what I'm saying, to where the house had to buy the product first. They end up buying their tobacco on their own without permission. You know what I'm saying? Orders are orders, man. The tobacco's been dried up because they stopped selling them, but Death Row had them. So the household's going to come first. You can't buy, if you're going to buy personal pouches, it comes from us. So
Right.
Lucifer, I know Lucifer, he's trying to get his hustle on. He goes over there and buys some tobacco. So the back bar RA gets at me and complains because he kind of didn't like Lucifer and would try to always say this. I'm like, man, just you need to mind your own business, bro. And so what ends up happening is I ended up DPing Lucifer in Danger. I gave him 1,500 jumping jacks, essay, and I put him on tobacco restriction for a fucking month. That's a harsh restriction, right? You know what I'm saying? Both of them, you know. And I know baby Lucifer was my boy, but I can't be favoritized on situations in front of other people. But I'm not going to explain my actions. You know what I'm saying? And Lucifer was a very competent, seasoned soldado, and he was a close friend of mine, but I still had to do it because he disobeyed orders. And so I said, but I didn't tell nobody what I did. I don't have to.
Yeah.
So Chino gets there. I already got one car now that I have on freeze over there, Payaso from Redwood City, who I had to get at. And I said, I had him exposed to status and recruit him because I needed to know. Because I remember hearing his name and he didn't want to give it to me. I said, bro, I can't do nothing if you don't tell me who fucking recruited you, bro. I know it's not really technically my biz, but I don't think they're going to have a problem with you telling me who were your channels. So he finally told me Roach and Rock. I'm like, no wonder, bro. They're both fucking flipped because he came back from Mexico to report. Yeah. So he was happy. So it was good that he told me. But then Chino gets there, and so Chino starts talking to my RA, right? He's not even cleared to be the fucking any position yet, right? Yeah, he's a C. You know what I mean? I'm still looking into that because I'm questioning if that's even valid at the time, bro, to be honest with you, because there was a lot of people's status that were being revoked. And I wanted to confirm it, which I found out later on that they said, man, that they wish I would not have handed the keys when I left over there to him. But I had no choice because he was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Recognized himself as a C. I figured if not, he's at least a seasoned in soldado, but I wasn't too impressed with his talk because he got at me about like what was going on with the RA, and I clapped back at him on paper. I told him he needed to pump his brakes and that fucking, you know what? You're not gonna just come up in this household and fucking tell me what the fuck to do. You know what I mean? I'm not, and he's a C, and I'm an soldado at the time. I'm not even fucking lying. This is all fucking facts. I said, he's my fucking protege right here that's working under me. How I deal with him is not really your business. You weren't even here during this issue. Right. You know what I'm saying? And he ends up getting it back at me. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. Like you had the audacity to come at me like that. I was only conducting R&I. That's in our training to research and investigate what's going on. I said, well, then why don't you just keep it 100 and ask me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting at my RA. He's a back bar RA. He has nothing to do with the front bar RA.
Right.
I'm his fucking channel, not you. Was he filing a complaint against me or something, you know? And he kind of like, I made Chino break it down, bro, straight up. Because even on the yard when I talked to him, man, he's telling me about this and that. I'm like, hey, all those kids got their statuses revoked, bro. So I was starting to question it, you know what I mean? And then he started meddling with, okay, I ended up stripping the dude of his en soldado status there, right? And I was given the authority to do so by Fred Dog, who was a carnal. He gave me jurisdiction to make a decision, and he agreed with it. Because I ran the investigation on it. The dude that called a hit out there on the reception side, he sends a kite sanctioned by a star authority. They hit him because he had paperwork for a statutory.
Oh.
Okay. You know, and I know that still needs to be investigated. He was cleared of it, the issue, and they had him hit. So technically, I requested him to come to the hole so we can investigate and hear his report. So after numerous times, we finally get the dude back there. I run the investigation, and I look at it. I'm like, I'm reading his explanation of it and so forth, and I'm like, this dude doesn't have the proper education, bro. You know what I mean? He didn't, even though he shedded a little bit of blood, it was a little fucking, I've done worse fucking shaving, so, you know what I mean? Technically, he could have been deemed no good. You know what I'm saying? But I never wanted to be that dude that was going to put a stamp on deeming anybody no good. I think in my career, I only deemed maybe 4 people no good. The rest of them that I put on paper were the ones that locked it up themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when I looked at this individual, Chino, Victor Velasquez's case, right? I said, look, oh man, I'm like, I could deem him no good, have him hit. play it off right now, or maybe we failed him. Maybe when he was recruited as an soldado, we didn't give him the proper education, which was occurring a lot back then. So if you had your proper school and you knew you're going to go through R&I and you're going to follow all due process to anybody, and this is a straight fucking heinous crime, or some type of act towards an NF member or NF member's family, there's not going to be no due process. You're getting whacked.
Yeah.
So he didn't have the education. He didn't have the understanding. So what's the best thing to do there? I decided to salvage his career. But I said, I'm going to strip him of his soldado status. We're going to DP him. We're going to put him on frontline status. I brought that up to Fred Dog because he asked me to decide on it. I told Fred Dog that was the decision I made. Fred Dog co-signed on it. So he already addressed this, right? The RC at the time, the interim, because Wevel was technically the RC. So after I leave, fucking Chino tries to reinstate his fucking status. When he wasn't there during the whole investigation, everybody that was there was already gone. So he was trying to fucking, put it out his chest like he was somebody. Then he gets up to the fucking bay and he locks it up as soon as he gets there. And I get a guy from there like, man, Flox, we know why you did it, because there was question marks about his C status, but we know why you did it, because you did what you were supposed to do. Even though Payaso would have been the better choice, but he's been gone for 3 years, no communication. I can't give him the keys.
Right.
So I told him that, look, you're not cleared, but anything valid information I will give you if it's a threat towards you. You can partake in education if you want. I told him, we'll let you partake with Northerners and Norteños in educating, but you're not going to hold no position or any authority here. But anything that's important, I'll let you know. Like when Boxer from Selma got there, I let him know because he came through on some type of courtesy thing. And so I started getting a little rapport with him, but I couldn't reveal too much because I didn't want to get caught up in it. Because I know as soon as they get to the bay, there's some individuals, if you tell them too much, they're going to fucking report it. Next you know, you're in a cross.
Yeah.
And so, that's just some of the things that were going on at the time, man. Like there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, man, that people don't realize that you were a part of, that you've seen or that you experienced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not everything's not about just like, you can't be involved in every fucking issue out there. You know what I'm saying? We all played a part in what we do. You know what I'm saying? And I just tried to do the best of my ability, bro. And, I had flaws. I had faults. I wasn't always perfect. I didn't beat everybody up or shoot everybody. You know what I'm saying? But I shot a lot of motherfuckers. I stabbed a lot of people. That's just who the fuck I was out there. Ask anybody about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was just that dude. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that fucking shit never came my way. I've been stabbed. I've been shot. All that too. I've been hit with bats and everything. That's fucking life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the lifestyle for sure.
If you think that, look, if you're a fucking gangster out there in the game, right? And you don't think you're with the shit, then you fucking better get out the game now. That's just the fucking reality of it. So yeah, of course I thought I was shit. I had to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the reality of it. Even people that are with the shit, you're even cautious around them sometimes because you don't know what they're about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not gonna like I told someone before, like I know some dudes that were out there fucking in Hayward that were fucking inactive, active, that were with the business, like Black Dre from Hayward and all these cats and fucking what's his name? Fabian out there and all these cats on the East Bay. They're all with the shit. A lot of them ain't active. Now, I know they're with the business, right? So am I gonna elect to try to get at their lady or disrespect them? Only if I'm ready to go to war with them. Because if I do that, I know what I have coming and I'm gonna be ready for it.
Yeah.
So I have to sit there and calculate, is it really worth doing it? Not that I'm a punk. Do I really want to deal with this big issue? Because I know
risk versus reward.
And that's how sometimes people would be with me. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't the biggest dude as far as biggest dude when it came to fighting. I'm pulling one of these, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it was. But I'll get down with my hands back then too, though. You know what I'm saying? And this is just the way life was. I think that a lot of it just how you say it? It wasn't just me in the beginning. I turned into that person because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted that fucking be recognized. My ego was my worst thing when it came to this. Period, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the only life I knew. You know what I mean? That's me being 100, bro.
It's the only way you can be. Hey, man, we're definitely going to have to do a part 2 of this for sure, man. This was great. A little bit about FLACO, you guys, man.
I got crazy stories, bro.
FLACO knows his shit, and he's been through it every 100% of the way, man. But hey, thank you, FLACO, for taking the time out. We definitely gotta do this again. Now, I didn't even say nothing, bro. I was just like, man, I'm thinking, man, this is great.
It's easier when we're shooting the shit and you ask a question, I can just go off shit, bro.
Hey, that was one question.
Yeah, because
you killed it, bro. You killed it.
I like talking about me. I still got that ego, bro.
Hey, nobody knows more about you than you.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, man, let me end it like this, bro. I just did the best of my ability, man. I think
Yeah.
my ego allowed me to push harder than I needed to push at times, and I was smart about it, man. You know, like even when I was getting fights with people, I think about 60% of the fights I probably should have lost, but because I was so smart and I taking off on you first and I'm not stopping, I'm always winning. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a skinny dude.
Right.
If I couldn't beat you with my fist, I'm grabbing something. Trust me. If I can't beat you with that, I'm grabbing something bigger. You know what I'm saying? In the end, you're gonna have some fucking holes in. You're gonna have a fucking bullet in your back or something, bro. It's gonna happen.
And that's the thing. As long as anytime you engage with somebody, win, lose, or draw, as long as they don't want to do it again, you've won. You proved your point.
Put it this way: when I got to the joint, I wanted to put hung up boxing gloves on me already. That was where my mind was at, bro. And you know, if anybody doesn't know what hung up boxing gloves means, it means you don't play with your fist no more. You play either stabbing or shooting. That's what I want to do. I didn't want to play with my hands no more. If I'm playing with my hands, it's just for play.
Yeah.
But if you're my enemy or opposition at that time, I'm trying to stab you, shoot you, I'm trying to kill you. Because otherwise there's no reason to have fun. That's just the truth of it. You know what I mean?
Real talk. Real talk with FLACO. Once again, y'all check him out. Real talk with FLACO. ACP, we just dropped something a little while ago. It's a good one about Javier Zubiotti, FLACO from Santa Rosa. Make sure you check it out if you haven't. We'll definitely do a part 2 of this. Appreciate FLACO for jumping on. This is your boy Rojo. This is the Rojo Room. I hope you enjoyed it because I did, man. Appreciate you guys. Holler at you later.